video maker, but I've already got this pre-done, so I figure I will get it on the net to see if we could save some lives in India. First thing you want to do, and you'll have to excuse my video expertise, is buy any styrofoam cooler, any size. First thing you want to do is cut around 2-inch hole at the top and center of the base. The lid itself, you're going to need some sort of a fan. I found this fan in my basement. As you can see, I have cut it to fit the fan. In the freezer, as you can see, it's just an empty coffee mate container filled with water that was put into the freezer. It is now a frozen mass. I usually put 2 of them in, but this time I'll just put 1 in to show you. Next thing you do is put your lid on, like so, and so the hole is pointing towards you. Plug your fan in. Turn the fan on high. Place it directly over the hole that you have cut in the top. Now out of this hole is blowing 38 degrees. Enough to keep your parents or grandparents cool without an air conditioning unit. I'll try to make a better video. Like I said, this is the first one I'm making. I'm just hoping I can get it out to you guys to help you cool down during this time of need. You can download this and share it as much as you want. You guys take care, stay cool. Hello to all my brothers and sisters in India enduring the heat wave at this time. I figure I'd make a down and dirty video to show you maybe how to keep your grandparents cool if they do not have air conditioning. I'm not a video maker, but I've already got this pre-done, so I figure I will get it on the net to see if we could save some lives in India. First thing you want to
alone and stranded in the harsh Arizona desert, 150 miles from civilization, without any food or water. One individual, with incredible determination to survive, sets out on an impossible journey to save his life. For 8 days, he battles with temperatures as high as 120 degrees and endures the pain of an unforgiving terrain. First walking, then staggering, and finally crawling the last 8 miles of his grueling 150-mile journey. There, lying stripped of clothes, rescuers discovered the badly blistered, bruised, and severely dehydrated body. The man had lost over 25% of his body weight to dehydration, a percentage loss that should have been fatal. As the doctors began to examine and treat him, they noted that his lacerations were not bleeding.
What's the status? Really serious, really dehydrated, left extreme off.
However, as the survivor became hydrated through large amounts of fluid, his wounds began to bleed. According to experts, this man exercised little, if any, appropriate survival skills. Yet because of his powerful determination to live, he managed to survive. An old wilderness proverb says, survival is 90% mental and 10% physical. This theory of survival often clashes with popular notions of what survival entails. Most people emphasize the importance of purely physical aspects, such as constructing shelters, repairing signaling devices, and procuring food and water. While these activities are certainly important, they are no way near as crucial as starting out with a strong will to survive. Don't think that simply having a well-equipped survival kit and practiced survival skills is going to save you. You need an extra advantage, a psychological advantage of having the will to survive. The likelihood of surviving the challenges of binge banding will be greatly diminished unless you have a strong desire to live. Sure, you can practice specific survival skills, but you won't know how strong your will to survive is until you're faced with an actual life or death situation.
Is anybody there? Anybody hear me? Anybody hear me?
However, certain steps can be taken to strengthen or reinforce your will to survive. First, you must know the basic needs and priorities of survival. These priorities must be met, whether you are at home or stranded in the wilderness after a forced landing. Being prepared for a survival situation will increase your confidence and reduce your psychological stress. By reducing your stress levels, you will enable yourself to better concentrate on your will to survive. In a survival situation, priorities are based on how long you can survive without certain physiological and psychological requirements. The most basic priority for survival is oxygen. Oxygen is crucial. Without it, your survival time can be measured in minutes. In a post-crash survival situation, bleeding is the most common way loss of oxygen can occur. As blood leaves the body, so does the life-sustaining oxygen contained within the blood. The loss of blood can cause unclear thinking and eventually loss of consciousness. Therefore, life-threatening injuries shall ultimately have the highest priority. You must be prepared to deal with these types of injuries. Educate yourself on emergency techniques that stop bleeding and learn methods for treating other injuries. Even minor injuries should be treated because the pain from these injuries will only persist and intensify with time. Be aware that pain from injuries, even minor ones, can cause significant stress in an already stressful situation. By becoming knowledgeable with first aid techniques, you will not only increase your ability to cope with injuries and pain, you will increase your confidence level, strengthening your will to survive. Because maintaining body core temperature is an essential requirement for survival, shelter becomes an immediate priority. In extremely hot or cold environments, survival time can be measured in hours. With this in mind, it is important to remember when you are in a survival situation, the most immediate shelter you have available is your clothing. It's unfortunate that most pilots dress for the cockpit environment, giving little consideration to the types of environments they will be flying over. The stress caused from being too hot or too cold can wear you down, both physically and mentally. Maintaining the body's core temperature is a survival technique in itself. It may seem like a mundane skill in the everyday world, but in a survival situation, it can be overwhelmingly difficult. Reading books on this subject will help, but should be no replacement for hands-on experience. You must not only learn the skill of building a campfire, you need to practice it. Also, know what's involved in constructing a windbreak, and make a habit of putting extra clothes aboard your aircraft. Wearing and carrying proper clothing and having knowledge about building a fire and creating a basic shelter can greatly reduce the stress associated with temperature. Sharpening up on all of these life-saving skills will empower you to overcome the physical and mental stress created by extreme temperatures. Water is your next essential priority. Without it, you can only expect to survive 3 to 7 days. And because there is no guarantee that you will have suitable drinking water, the water contained in your body may be your only source. Therefore, you must attempt to conserve it by restricting physical activities to the cool of the evening and early morning. An old survival adage is to conserve your sweat, not your water. If you have water, distribute it equally among all survivors and drink as much as you can when you can. It's important to remember, as you become more dehydrated, your brain will become less efficient. As your mind deteriorates, so does your will to survive. Initially, when forced into a survival situation, you will experience a sudden adrenaline rush. This adrenaline flow will cause subsequent nervous energy, ultimately placing your entire body on edge. In this condition, you are not doing yourself or your co-survivors any favors. An effective survival strategy is to sit down. This will alleviate tension and excitement from the situation, as well as help you and everyone else think more calmly and logically. So after treating injuries and establishing adequate shelter, calm down and rest. Denying yourself adequate rest will simply cause your body to shut down. Not sure what to do next. Just sit down where you are. Think about specific objectives you are trying to accomplish. Observe any potential obstacles that may lie between you and your objective. Then plan a course of action. This simple checklist can help you avoid wasting valuable energy and resources, allowing you to progress towards your goal in a practical and logical manner. Believe it or not, finding food should be your lowest priority. On the average, a person can go up to 30 days without food. However, if you do have food, eating could have a significant influence on your odds of survival. In regards to hydration, you should attempt to avoid eating unless you have an ample amount of drinking water. You must also concern yourself with the type of nutrition you eat more than the amount. For example, proteins may be good for building muscle, but they require a large amount of water to be digested. Just remember, eating foods with proteins when you are dehydrated will only make you more dehydrated. Contrary to protein, carbohydrates are considered to be the best type of food you can eat in a survival situation, because carbohydrates don't require much water for digestion and they give you almost instant energy. Additionally, foods with fats are good for long-term energy, but hopefully, with any luck, your survival experience will be brief. The important point to remember concerning food is do not eat any food unless you have ample drinking water. Consequently, not eating, especially during specific times you're accustomed to eating, will cause severe hunger pains. This type of pain can create severe psychological stress. The urge to eat can actually preoccupy your mind and may even affect your will to survive. To counteract the stress created from hunger pains, try to occupy your mind with tasks that will help bring about your rescue. religious beliefs can help you overcome the many types of psychological stress you may encounter in a survival situation. Having faith and religious beliefs can strengthen your will to survive. Fear will have a significant influence on your survival attitude. Fear can be your greatest ally and your worst enemy. Fear can create awareness, preparing you to react to an immediate situation. Or fear can cause you to panic and make irrational decisions. Decisions that might cost you your life. It should be understood that fear is a natural, physiological, and psychological response to a perceived threat. People who are frightened typically go into the fight or flight mode. They react to a threat by either standing their ground or running away. Individual reaction to fear may depend more on the person than the situation. Be aware that fear can manifest itself consciously or subconsciously. Conscious fear occurs when dealing with a direct, life-threatening situation, while subconscious fear, being less conspicuous, can be more difficult to define. You're scared. You're uneasy. You're apprehensive about the number of dangers out there, like poisonous snakes, hidden predators, and other potential hazards associated with an unfamiliar environment. This type of fear can easily escalate into a full-scale panic. Panicking will cause you to make poor decisions that could endanger your life. If you are going to combat fear, you must first realize when you are frightened. Here are some common signs and symptoms of fear. Quickening of the pulse, dilated pupils, perspiration on the palms of the hand, dryness of the mouth, and a feeling of butterflies in the stomach. Only when you admit to yourself that you are frightened can you take positive action to conquer your fear. This is why survival training makes all the difference. Adequate survival training will not only prepare you to survive after a forced landing, but it will give you the confidence that you need to strengthen your will to survive. When you ask most pilots about applying their survival skills, they will probably state, well, I won't be out there that long, or I'll file a flight plan and make sure that my ELT is activated. They're sure to find me. This response is one of denial, a denial that stems from a pilot's own fear. An effective means of conquering this fear can be as simple as packing a survival kit. By being prepared, you are admitting to yourself the possibility of being faced with a survival situation. More importantly, you will have a greater sense of control should an unlikely event occur. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it can provide the skills needed to survive the most unfortunate of circumstances. All of these methods, together, will strengthen and enhance your psychological state of being, your mindset, and your will to survive.
Oh, that's it. Oh.
Most survival skills are based on common sense. Always expect the unexpected. With proper training, preparedness, and confidence, you can prepare yourself for the unknown. You can prepare yourself against all odds. You can prepare yourself to survive. Alone and stranded in the harsh Arizona desert, 150 miles from civilization, without any food or water, one individual, with incredible determination to survive, sets out on an impossible journey to save his life. For 8 days, he battles with temperatures as high as 120 degrees.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. Well, Obama said he wasn't going to leave, wasn't going to go anywhere when he left the White House. How much more proof do you need? The different things that I've been saying that's been going on since he left office with Hillary Clinton, Obama, and different past officials that were in the White House. Valerie Jarrett moves into Obama's new home. They're living under the same roof now. The only reason they would move her under the same roof as Obama is because Obama's a puppet. The globalists are fighting tooth and nail for their very survival. What are they? Communists, socialists, Nazis, and even witches. Barack Obama is turning his new home, Coloma section of the nation's capital, just 2 miles away from the White House, into the nerve center of the mounting insurgency against his successor, President Donald J. Trump. Obama's goal, according to a close family friend, is to oust Donald Trump from the presidency, either by forcing his resignation or through his impeachment. This is why they're bringing up all the Russian ties. But who sold uranium to the Russians? Hillary Clinton. And do you need a reminder about all the leaked emails coming out of the White House showing all the corruption that was going on? Play to pay, etc. Yeah, I'm still waiting for Trump to bring up criminal charges against her, and I think they need to. Trump needs to start fighting tooth and nail against these communists, socialists, globalists, Satanists, Nazis, whatever you want to call them. The former president has set up an office on the west end of the nation's capital, where he recently hosted an open house for his White House staff, including Joe Biden, Susan Rice, Josh Earnest, and Jarrett. On Tuesday, former Attorney General Eric Holder, who should be in jail for all the weapons that he sent to Mexico illegal, revealed that Obama is indeed getting closer to his public appearance and policies. That drug dealer that they're going to be extraditing to the U.S., the one that has escaped, twice from prisons in Mexico. They found weapons at his compound that were sent to Mexico by then Attorney General Eric Holder. And the Border Patrol agent who was killed by one of those weapons too, our Border Patrol agent. It's coming, he's coming, Holder said, speaking to reporters. And he's ready to roll. According to the family source, Obama was at first reluctant to assume the role of leader of the opposition. That's BS, because he said he wasn't going anywhere before he even left the White House after the elections. Obama even knew that Hillary Clinton had a private server. No longer the most powerful man in the world. He was just observing Trump and not liking what he saw, the source said. Oh, and let's lay it on thick. Let's butter up the bread. He was weary and burned out after 8 years in office. But Valerie convinced him that he didn't have any choice if he wanted to save his legacy. And as usual, Obama the puppet, he bowed to Valerie's political wisdom and advice. Now you should know by now that all these demonstrations on the street, in town hall meetings, you can look at all the license plates of the cars at the town hall meetings and see they're from out of state, is all part of the plot to get Trump either impeached or to resign. That's what's called the color revolution. The United States has done it in many countries in the past to oust a leader that the U.S. didn't like. Obama came out in support of the protests opposing Donald Trump's executive order to reinstate immigration from predominantly Muslim countries. A spokesman said the former president thinks their citizens exercising their constitutional rights to assemble, organize, and have their voices heard by their elected officials is exactly what we expect to see when American values are at stake. Notice one word that was left out of that statement. Citizens exercising their constitutional right to assemble peacefully. The word peacefully was deliberately left out. After Obama left office, Jarrett moved all her White House belongings into the mansion from day one. Trump has only been in office, 41, 42 days, that's it. Those that voted for Trump, who elected him as our 45th president of the United States, are going to have to start fighting tooth and nails to stop these communists, socialists, globalists, Satanists from kicking our president out illegally. And I mean illegally. We have a legal constitutional process. If a president has violated the oath of office, but staging violent protests, paying protesters, is illegal. That's treason. Another thing Trump has under his belt is the RICO Act. It is illegal to shelter an illegal alien. It's illegal to give them employment. It's illegal to rent to them. And Trump needs to use the RICO Act to go after the sanctuary cities, the employees, and landlords who rent to illegal aliens. We need to start fighting tooth and nail to keep our Constitution in place. Put your thoughts and comments down below. Bookmark my site. I'll keep you up to date. Please stay safe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye. Hi everybody. Thank you for joining me. Well, Obama said he wasn't going to leave, wasn't going to go anywhere when he left the White House. How much more?
Well, a massive Ten Commandments monument that has been outside a Pennsylvania public school for 60 years is now being removed.
The reason, one complaint from an atheist mother who filed a federal lawsuit. Fox News radio host Todd Starnes is live for us in D.C. with his take on the controversy in his 1-minute commentary. Good morning, Todd.
Well, good morning, guys. Yeah, the Ten Commandments is getting the heave-ho from a high school near Pittsburgh. The New Kensington Arnold School District has 30 days to remove the giant monument from the front lawn of Valley High School. It's all part of the settlement in a federal lawsuit filed by an aggrieved atheist. She tells the local newspaper the monument was a violation of the Constitution. She also said the commandments were offensive.
You're just tuning in. We are going to breaking news out of Washington.
Again, this is a developing story. There has been an explosion.
Absolutely shocking.
Those protests happening overnight over the White House's transgender rights decision. We will hear from the inauguration singer Jackie Evancho and her transgender sister in just a moment. But first, ABC's senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega has the very latest on all of that. Good morning, Cecilia.
Amy, good morning to you. Donald Trump campaigned on being a friend of the gay community, but so many this morning saying that late night move from the White House here sets back protections for transgender people. Overnight, protesters taking their battle cry for transgender rights directly to the White House.
Shame on Trump! Protect the trans students!
Accusing the Trump administration of delivering a major blow.
Trans equality now!
In a late-night decision, the White House reversed guidelines issued under President Obama. Public schools no longer required to allow transgender students to use the bathroom of their choice.
The president's made it clear throughout the campaign that he's a firm believer in states' rights and that certain issues like this are not best dealt with at the federal level.
Top Democrats calling the reversal just plain wrong and saying civil rights are not confusing. Jackie Evancho, who sang at President Trump's inauguration and whose sister is transgender, tweeting, "You gave me the honor to sing at your inauguration. please give me and my sis the honor to meet with you to talk transgender rights. The issue even pitting two key members of the president's cabinet against each other. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos saying, "We have a responsibility to protect every student in America. This is not merely a federal mandate, but a moral obligation." While Attorney General Jeff Sessions said the Department of Justice has a duty to enforce the law, adding it remains committed to its protections for all students, including LGBTQ students. Stuck in the middle, students like Gavin Grimm. Born female, his Virginia school district banned him from using the boys' bathroom. His case now headed to the Supreme Court.
We will not be beaten down by this administration or any.
The president was asked at one point, Caitlyn Jenner was in Trump Tower, and he said, that's great. That's consistent with everything he said. It's a states' rights issue. And that's entirely what he believes, that if a state wants to pass a law or a rule, or an organization wants to do something in compliance with the state rule, that's their right. But it shouldn't be the federal government getting in the way of this.
When Congress passed the Civil Rights Act in Title IX, they never contemplated that sex would mean gender identity. It's not in the bill. It's not what the bill says. It's not what the law says. And so we think that the directive that the Obama administration issued about interpreting sex as meaning gender identity is wrong, and it should be repealed.
Yeah, that big protest here overnight. Now, this order does include language requiring schools to protect transgender students from bullying. But, George, this is being viewed as a major setback for transgender rights.
Although the effects of climate change may not be readily apparent in some parts of the world, in Dakar, the battle has already begun. Coastal erosion is currently wreaking havoc on the city's peninsula that stretches into the Atlantic. According to a 2013 report, by 2080, more than 300 buildings and 60% of its beaches could be gone. However, the Senegalese capital of around 2.5 million people is fighting back with the so-called resilience strategy. The Rockefeller Foundation has allocated $164 million to a 100 Resilient Cities program, which will fund a chief resilience officer for each day in the program to draw up a plan and provide support and expertise.
Heavy rain and severe flooding slamming California, where there are reports of at least 8 deaths. Thousands are forced from their homes as creeks and reservoirs overflow, sending floodwaters into neighborhoods. What you're seeing is moments ago in San Jose, California, that's south of San Francisco. North of San Francisco is where we find the Oroville Dam. And Alicia Acuna is there, where residents near that damaged spillway are finally getting some relief. And Alicia is here with an update. Alicia?
Hi, Jenna. Yes, and we're going to start down south where folks are dealing with that flooding. 14,000 people are under mandatory evacuation, and the fire department down there says they're not only dealing with trying to get people out of their homes in this moving water. That water is filled with debris and may be contaminated. The fire captain says that anyone who comes out of the water is required to go to the hospital to get checked and to be decontaminated because the flood water could contain gasoline, sewage, and motor oil. And because of that, city workers from San Jose were going door to door telling residents that they needed to wait to be taken out by boat. But rather than wait for rescue, some decided to walk out. All of this water coming from the Coyote Creek, which overflowed after runoff poured over the Anderson Spillway.
I left for school, take my daughter to school, and then I come back and I see all of this. I'm like, what's going on? It happened real fast.
Lake Berryessa is filled beyond capacity, so a huge amount of water is literally flowing down the drain. Maria Villarreal shows us the phenomenon that hasn't been seen in more than a decade.
First the rain, now the drain. California's wet winter has pushed Lake Berryessa way beyond capacity, pouring water into its bathtub-like drain. It's the first time that's happened in 11 years.
Back in October, we were essentially half full. This is the first time that the lake has been so low and filled up and spilled in 1 year.
What looks calm at the top of the Morning Glory Spillway, as it's called, looks like a raging torrent at the bottom. The spillway is located 200 feet from the Monticello Dam. It's shaped like a funnel, 72 feet wide at its lip and narrowing to 28 feet at an outlet down at the Puda Creek. When water in the lake rises to more than 440 feet above sea level, it spills over the lip of this funnel and pours into the creek 700 feet below.
When this reservoir reaches its capacity, this spillway can take in about 48,000 cubic feet of water per second. That's the equivalent to draining half an Olympic-sized pool in just 1 second.
This is what the drain has looked like during California's drought, so dry that it became an unofficial skateboard park. The water started trickling in on Friday. Now it's become a bit of a tourist destination. You might say a holy pilgrimage.
On Avalon Drive in Stewart, where a brush fire recently threatened homes.
It's really dry.
Even after 2 inches of rainfall.
Both Bill and Mary Sofield say they're still concerned. Their yard bone dry even after significant rainfall.
Quickly dissipated, so, you know, we're hoping and keeping our fingers crossed.
Turns out even after Wednesday's rain, Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, Indian River, and Okeechobee County are all in a severe drought. Even Okeechobee County announced a burn ban today.
You have a lot of flammable fuel.
Scott Petrick with the Florida Forest Service said the drought index had only a minor drop, still at alarming levels. The South Florida Water Management District is reporting even after yesterday, rainfall is still 6 inches below average for the dry season. Petrick says conditions are still ripe for another repeat of last week in Martin County.
If something happens where a person accidentally starts a fire, the fire definitely would carry. We have a little bit of wind, and still we're in these drying conditions. A wildfire could pose a threat to structures and also our highways too.
Been dry for months.
The Sofield's taking that into account and hoping more rain is in the forecast.
Have to be aware and do what they tell you and hope for the best.
Now, the South Florida Water Management District continues to ask homeowners and businesses to conserve water, take short showers, and limit irrigation.
CNN reports that in a Thursday speech in Rome, the Pope said it might be better to be an atheist than a Christian who exploits people, leads a double life, gets involved in dirty business, and scandalizes the church. Examples of such scandals abound, the Pope said, adding that they erode the church and the guilty Christian from within by causing others to sin and lose faith. Francis's sermon, as is customary, was an extended riff on Thursday's Mass readings, which include a passage from the Gospel on Mark, in which Jesus says it is better to be drowned than to cause others to sin.
I'm Mike Pence. I'm the Vice President of the United States of America. I spoke words earlier today in St. Louis that were from the heart. There is no place in America for hatred or acts of prejudice or violence or anti-Semitism. I must tell you, the people of Missouri are inspiring the nation by your love and care for this place, for the Jewish community in Missouri, and I want to thank you for that inspiration, for showing the world what America is really all about.
In a little over 24 hours, an online fundraiser for Muslims to donate to repair vandalism at a Jewish cemetery raised over $100,000. The fundraiser was launched after 180 gravestones were toppled, some broken, just outside St. Louis, Missouri over the weekend. Linda Sauersauer of Empower Change and Celebrate Mercy's Tarek El Masidi set up the fundraiser, which collected $20,000 in donations in its first 3 hours alone. Sauersauer said, "People in a cemetery should be able to rest in peace." On MSNBC Wednesday, she also said she expected nothing less from my community, who has always been a generous community.
Police in Anaheim, California arrested about 24 people overnight during violent protests. Hundreds of people flooded the streets one day after an off-duty officer fired his gun during a dispute with teenagers. Video shows one protester being hit by a beanbag and officers making arrests. The confrontation that triggered the demonstration was captured by a cell phone camera. You heard that sound. The off-duty officer can be seen firing his gun while pulling one teenager through some bushes. Police say he was upset about kids constantly stepping on his property. Carter Evans shows us how the confrontation escalated.
Let me go for the last time.
Cell phone video captured the moment the fight escalates. The man in the sunglasses is an off-duty LAPD officer. He has his hands on a 13-year-old student who can be heard yelling that he's a minor.
Let me go, you're sitting on my chair.
Police say the off-duty officer, who lives along a popular route to 3 local schools, was increasingly frustrated with kids walking across his property. Tuesday afternoon, he confronted them.
Did you hear?
At one point, the 13-year-old tries to get away and his friends intervene, knocking the officer down. That's when he grabs a gun from his waistband and pulls the trigger. No one was hit. 13-year-old Christian, who asked us not to show his face, said he was sticking up for a classmate.
This girl passes his lawn, goes on his lawn, and he's like, get off my lawn.
Christian has cuts and bruises from the fight.
I thought he was gonna shoot me, and I thought he was gonna shoot me, and I was scared, I thought I was gonna die.
Christian and a 15-year-old were arrested at the scene, but released pending further charges. For CBS This Morning, Carter Evans, Los Angeles.
The off-duty officer has been placed on administrative leave while the LAPD investigates. He alleges the teenager, Christian, said he would shoot him. Christian says he was only threatened to sue him.
Tensions running high at the pipeline protest camp in North Dakota. Activists setting a huge fire as they fight to stay with a deadline to clear the site just hours away. National correspondent William Lajeunesse is live for us in Cannonball, North Dakota. William, what is going on here?
Well, Abby, let me tell you, the fire that you see in the distance, those are intentionally set. The idea being that it will be easier to take those things out as ash than a bulldozer and a dump truck. But, you know, the protesters here, they lost when Donald Trump won. Donald Trump, of course, approved the pipeline that President Obama had halted. And that means, for all intents and purposes, the protest is over. And both the governor as well as the Standing Rock Sioux tribe have told the protesters to go home. It is over. The governor has an emergency evacuation order that takes effect today at 2 p.m. Now, 2 interesting caveats. There is going to be an amnesty bus. So protesters will be offered to get on that bus. They'll go to a transition center. We'll get a voucher for a hotel night and a bus ticket anywhere in the United States. Secondly, there'll be a ceremonial arrest for those individuals who want to be able to tell their friends that they were arrested, get a photo taken, put it on their social media sites. The cops will accommodate them for the next several days. Now, for the hardcore guys who want to be charged with a crime, we spoke to some of them. They said, well, we lost the war, but we don't regret the fight.
I'm terribly sad. I'm terribly sad. You know, it's not just a pipeline thing. You know, these people have been pushed around for centuries, right? They've been trampled over, you know.
According to state officials, you know, a lot of the protesters are frankly broke, and so they think it's a humane thing to do to give them the night in the hotel, the bus ticket, and to let them out. After all, Abby, this is North Dakota. People here are really nice. Abby?
Yeah, but they're asking them to leave because all that snow, as we can see behind you, it could melt, saying that it could cause flooding. How bad are those conditions?
Well, right now it's cold and snowy, and it looks probably better than it really is, because that place down there is a dump. It was basically a small city with 10,000 people at any one time over the course of the last 7 months. But the waters are rising, the snow is melting. It's been an unusually warm winter, and these campsites are literally in a floodplain. Now, what do you got down there? You've got propane and kerosene heaters, diesel and gas generators. You've got teepees, yurts, bunkhouses, and of course mountains of human waste as well. And that bacteria they fear is going to get into the river. If you look at that graphic, you'll see that those campsites are literally built in the floodplain. And when the Cannonball River rises, and then that bacteria would go into the river, that's what they don't want to occur.
I've been asked to do about my bug out bag, so here it is. I've already taken all the contents out, so it saves time. It's a medium Alice pack, you know, no frame, just the pack, 3 pouches. So here it is. First off, it's a car visor, car sunshade, perfect for putting in behind your shelter, your tarp when you got it up, to reflect heat back in on you. This is my bedroll. I have a pair of pants, socks, underwear, shirt, and a flannel in there. This is my, I call them my 4-man squirrel traps. If I don't have peanut butter to set in here, I can get some acorns, mush it up, set it there, tie it down. I can get food. This is my, damn, it just fell out of my head what that is. Trout line. Sorry guys. You know, I can set that out overnight, cross a creek, a river, into the lake, whatever, come back next day, see what I have. This can of peaches, lighter, matches. This is a cold steel, this is my machete. It's a cold steel, let me get out here for you guys. Come on, damn you. There you go. Cold steel buoy, razor sharp, does the job. Extra water bottle, my M-Tech hatchet, I like that. This is my snares. I carry about 48 of them in there. I got them from small to big for big game like groundhogs, possum, raccoon. Let's see, pair of gloves. This is my skinning knife. It's got a ferro rod here. It's got a knife sharpener here. And if I can get it out here for you guys. Why does everything don't want to work? It's a good little knife. It's an elk ridge. I paid like $8 for it. Good little thing. Come down here. This is my fire starting kit. I have a lighter, matches, ferro rod. There's some jute twine. Down here on the bottom is birch bark, and over here is some cedar. Dry tinder is a must. More lighters. This I'll be wearing. It's got a fire striker on it. My paracord bracelet. Cable ties. More line. This is a cheap Dollar Tree flashlight, but it works good. Here, that's my eating utensils. Got a fork, a knife, spoon, and corkscrew in there. This is what I keep my batteries in. Tea lights. This is a small medical kit. It's got tape, ibuprofens, Q-tips, wet wipes, pads. If I get a real bad cut, put that on there, or for my wife if she runs out. Jute twine, great fire starter if I have to tie something up. Mylar emergency sleeping bag, they're great to have. You know, use it by itself or put it in your regular sleeping bag, you'll sleep warm. I'm trying to get up here for you guys. Bag of marbles. Got them at the Dollar Tree for $1. 50 of them. That goes with my sling, my slingshot, my wrist rocket, whatever you want to call it. I don't have to worry about hunting for rocks or anything like that. I've got that and it works great. I had to go get me a new file because I robbed my file out of my bug out bag, so I had to get that. And great to have for sharpening your axe, your machetes, you know, whatever needs to be sharpened. People really need to have one of those in there. Next, this is my spear or harpoon set. I can fish with this, frog gig with it. You know, it's got a extra ferro rod in there. Great little item to have. I've got a space blanket, emergency blanket. Here, some food. I've got coffee, granola bar, Kool-Aid packets, and Spam. Another one, it's got tea bags and cups of noodles. Bottle of sugar. I'm sorry, I'm a wuss. I will not drink tea or coffee black or plain. I got to have my sugar in there. A knife, again, extra knife I could use for a spear. Just take the paracord off, wrap it up onto a stick, and let me get it out here for you guys so you can see it. If it wants to cooperate, I don't know if it will, and if I can keep it in focus. There we go. It's like $2.95 knife. I've got it off of the internet. It's sharp. It's got a good, I mean, it's pretty well thick. But again, I stick this on a end of a stick, spear for foods, for defense. I can baton with it. I've got a couple of them. Me and the kids get out here and play with them. And if you take this off, good throwing knife. I mean, it's good. It's got a good balance after you take that paracord off. Good balance for a throwing knife. Fishing cord, fishing line, and that's my fishing pole. It's a PVC hobo fishing pole. I've done a video on it, I do believe. I'm not sure. If I haven't, just check my archives. If I haven't, let me know, and I'll do a video on it. It's got about 300-400 yards of a 10-pound test, so perfect for little creeks and rivers. And right here, if you unscrew this, I've got all my fishing supplies in the handle. So if you want me to do a video on this, just let me know and I'll do it. This is my second one I got. These are great little Stanley pots. Great, I love them. The inside, it's got 2 cups, and I always, anything I could store something in, I will. This is my fire starter kit. It's Vaseline drenched cotton balls. I've got a lighter, Bic lighter, and I got another little knife in there. Let me get that out of your way, guys. This, my old shaving kit, this is my first aid kit. I've got anything and everything in here I need. Bandages, antiseptic, ace bandages, eye drops, tape, just everything in here. Folded up, works perfect. This guy is my hygiene kit. I got a razor in there, which I don't use a razor, but I got shampoo, I got deodorant, I got small bar of soap in here. Yeah. Great way to keep everything stored that you need to store. And, oh, sorry. I also got another extra bar of soap. This is my old GI mess tin. I've had this for a while. Love it. I wouldn't want no other mess tin. This is it. But, as you can tell, I store. I've got extra space. I'm going to store it. Breakfast drink. Cup of noodles. More. Couple of little forks and spoons. Matches. Lighter. Cup of noodles. 2 hot chocolates. If you got the room, store stuff in there. And it all fits down. Boom. There you go. Got this super soft microcloth from the Dollar Tree. Good for drying off, after, washing up. Got to have something to dry off with. This is my old Winchester. This is one I was telling you guys about. The sheaths are really bad on them. They break off. I'm still looking for somebody who does leather work so I can get it. But this thing right here, this is one of the best knives I've ever owned. I love it. I mean, it's a good fighting knife. It's a good hunting knife. You can baton with it. You can cut down small little trees. I mean, I've had this for years. Love these knives. This is my spice kit. And I tell you, you know, if I'm out and I have to make it, I've got pepper, salt, garlic powder, seasoning salt, 2 things of oils, and 25 chicken bouillon cubes. Set there. Regular stainless steel bowl, boiling water, cooking, with a roll of toilet paper. Paracord, 100 feet of it. Tarp, 9 by 10 for shelter. And I've got another bag in here. I've got socks, underwear, and a winter hat to keep me warm. That's it. That's what I got in my bug out bag. I will do another video because I carry a load-bearing vest as well with supplies on it. But this bag right here, it's not a 72-hour bag. It's not a get-home bag. If, say, I throw this in the truck along with my supplies and go to the place where the rest of our bug out location where our supplies are, and if it gets overran or something happens, I just have to grab this bag right here. What I have right here, I can survive out in the woods for a good 3 to 6 months as I'm scavenging, resupplying, and doing this. This bag, along with my load-bearing vest, I can last for a long time. But it's heavy. Yes, it is. It's very heavy. But I'm used to heavy loads, you know, from my service and camping and hunting and the work I do. So I say when it's loaded down, it's about a good 50 pounds. That's counting my load-bearing vest that I'm extra wearing, which it ain't nothing. I mean, when I was a kid, the football uniform weighed about almost that much. But this is what I got, and it suits me. You know, some of you guys might say, no, I wouldn't add this or I wouldn't do this. But this is what. You don't want to go by anybody else. Oh, you need this, you need that. No, you need, what fits you, what works for you. Don't listen to somebody else saying you need this and this and this, because it might not fit for you. It might not work for you. Get what fits and works for you. This is what fits and works for me. But anyway, guys, I'll come back with the load-bearing vest, and that'll wrap it up for my bug-out stuff, if you want to call it a bug-out bag. I hate calling it a bug-out bag. It's my grab-and-go or my survival bag, you know, my shit-hits-the-fan bag. But anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Hey, guys. This is part 2. This is my load-bearing vest. It's got 6 pouches, pistol belt, another little pouch here, back here. My butt pack, it's got 2 canteens, they're plastic. This one has my military stainless steel cup. Let's get over here and see the contents. Okay, we'll start right here. This is my neck knife that I'll be wearing around my neck, my headlamp, poncho, trout line, excuse me, matches, cotton ball, magnesium strip, lighter, 2 Powerball energy bars, some extra tinder, my Leatherman, mosquito net, head net, compass, signal and mirror, hand sanitizer, bug spray, speaker wire, great for helping tie a shelter down, water for purification tablets, a little dollar store item I picked up. It's got tweezers, nail clippers, file, pocket knife, emergency candles with extra lighter. I have another flashlight here, 2 glow sticks. Everybody says, well, I heard a lot of guys, oh, I don't want glow sticks, it gives your position away. When I'm out in the woods, I want to see, so that'll help me. Or if I'm hurt, you know, I can use that for signaling. Another slingshot in case the other one breaks. Small first aid kit, Band-Aids and some aspirins and stuff like that in there. A drop cloth, plastic drop cloth cover. You guys need to get you one of these for frog gigging, spearing fish. You know, it's extra to have. You know, you can hammer it in, screw it in, however you can get it into the stick. You need one. Best little knife sharpener I could find. You know, I think I already said pocket knife. This right here, we love these little, I don't even know what you call it. It's not a flashlight, but you can hang it. It's got a back here. If it's something metal, you can stick it on. Works great. We use these a lot when we go camping. My adenoid fishing survival tin, my saw, and I've done a video on this little survival tin I just threw together. It's got a little bit of everything in there. You guys go back and check that out if you want to. I've got a Dollar Tree book with a red pen, pencil, and a black pen. People, you know, I can use that as the paper for a fire starter. Also, if I come across something, if I'm seeing game, I can make notes of it. If I'm seeing people come and go, I can make notes of it. If I come across a fresh water away from my camp, I can make notes. Because you can't remember everything. Time you get back, you're going to forget. Keep it, and then you won't forget. Write it down, you won't forget. Last but not least, my pipe. I'm a smoker. I smoke cigarettes and pipes. But, you know, shit comes to shit. There ain't going to be no cigarettes out. So I've got a few bags of tobacco saved back. I got a couple pipes. And, you know, in the morning or after dinner or before I go to bed, you know, I can have a good smoke. So, relaxing. That's what I got. And on top of it, I'll be wearing my BDUs, you know, woodland BDUs. So I'll have plenty of pockets to stuff. I will be putting a couple other pouches on my web belt for which gun I will be carrying. So it depends on the gun. It depends on the pouch for the ammo. But this is all that I carry. And here's the setup for the bug out bag after it's done. So with that, along with my load bearing vest, I'm pretty well covered. Like I said in the last one, I could survive for a long time on what I've got, because I can hunt, I can fish, I can trap, you know, snare. I let a lot of it work for me not working for it. You know, like counting the fishing and the trout line and the snares. Just go from there, guys. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Now I got to load all this stuff up. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned the wet wipes. I was kind of going through this kind of fast, but this is great for, you know, washing your hands. And I'm sorry if I'm out in the woods, I've had to deal with it. I cannot stand swamp ass. I got to have a clean ass. My feet's got to be clean. Those work great for that. But I do believe that's everything, guys. I might, like I said, I might be adding a little bit more, but just let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Welcome to the home of the Hendersons. There's Mom getting the table set for breakfast. Dad catches up on current events. And young Billy does some last-minute cramming for the math quiz today. But where is Sister? Sister tells them that something strange is going on outside. What could possibly be happening this early in the day? Let's go see. The family is confused, but forgets that the man is always the leader. Oh no! Zombies! And it was looking like such a nice morning. Look at them. The Walking Dead. The communist product of tampering with forbidden science and opposing democracy. Zombies may not move quickly, but they have increased strength and are immune to most forms of bodily harm. It's a good thing the Hendersons are moral, Christian, tax-paying Americans, and they've learned the proper way to react when zombies attack. Good work, Dad. Shutting and locking the door is an often overlooked solution. Zombies lack the intelligence to work even simple doorknobs. Dad tells Billy to go get the shotgun and Billy rushes to the task. Sister also knows her role. Young girls should fly into an unreasonable panic at the first sign of any trouble. This helps inspire the men. Mom, you better calm her down. Good job, Mom. Billy's got the shotgun and some extra ammo. Now get back to Dad. Uh-oh. Looks like someone left the back door open and a zombie has wandered into the kitchen. Billy doesn't have enough time to load the shotgun, so he is going to have to improvise. While every American family should have a large caliber gun, those who are caught unprepared or who hate the Constitution should learn the value of improvised weaponry. Let's look at some of Billy's options. He could grab the fish that is thawing on the counter. Blunt objects work great, but a fish would probably be too hard to hold. There's also Mom's kitchen knife, but piercing weapons, while good for stabbing dirty commies, aren't very good for killing the Walking Dead. There's a baseball bat by the fridge. A perfect choice, but the post-war kitchen is too small to swing it adequately. There is a fourth choice though, one that not everyone would think of immediately. It's flexible and easily found during a zombie attack. That's right, the zombie's own arm. Collecting the arm is simple. Approach the zombie's blind side or knock it off balance. Grasp the arm firmly, brace your foot on its rib cage, and pull with all your might. Decayed tissue helps the limb tear free and you can beat your foe to your heart's content. Let's see how Billy does. What good form! Well done, Billy! Look at him go. Billy did excellently, and now they've got the shotgun. The Hendersons are well on their way to helping save America from this threat. Let's join the Hendersons again. They have their shotgun and they are ready to defend the house, but Billy tells them the back door has been compromised and zombies are entering their home. Mom doesn't like the sound of this, and her barely maintained grip on reality begins to give way to hysteria. Guess we know where Sister got it from. Dad prepares to give her a good cuffing, but Mom has gotten too close to the door, a bad move during a zombie attack. The zombies pull her arm through and fight to get a piece of any living flesh that they can sense. To the victor go the spoils, and one hungry ghoul manages to get a good bloody mouthful. The family manages to force the door closed, but it is evident that they now have a much bigger problem inside. Mom has been bitten. So, you've been bitten by a zombie. Well, there's only one thing to do now, Dad. But wait! Sister doesn't want Dad to do the right thing. She sure is demonstrating the proper ignorance expected of all young women in America. Billy jumps in to explain that once a person is infected, there is no way to reverse the progress of the zombie virus. The zombie menace first started in Russia, land of communism. Soviet scientists working in top-secret satanic labs developed a blood-borne pathogen that rapidly kills and reanimates human tissue. The newly formed Walking Dead could wreak havoc, so they extracted the virus, packed it into specially designed ballistic rockets and jet fighter planes so it could be delivered to innocent American soil. The zombie virus settled over America, where it collected into our great country's lower regions and infected the seedier, destructive elements of our God-loving society, focusing on the godless anarchists like people who listen to rock music, homosexuals, beatniks, and of course, Canadians. When the virus infects a person, it focuses its control on the brain and migrates through the mouth, where it can be spread through saliva. Destroying the brain or severing the head is the only way to permanently stop one of these degenerate creatures. Billy tells Sister that isn't her mom anymore. Sister understands now. It's time for Mom to meet her maker. Billy, you should be proud of your sister. By beating her mindless mother into a quivering pulp, she proves herself a better, truer American. The Hendersons are prepared to escape. They have their weapons and the plucky determination that Americans are known for. But the zombies are drawn relentlessly towards living flesh, and a running battle is always to be expected in these situations. Sister bravely separates from the group and meets a lone zombie, which is easily handled by anyone who has a chainsaw. Remember, Sister, lift and separate. Good work, Sister. Billy, though, lost his weapon in the escape, and Dad offers to cover him while he returns to fetch it. Billy uses his speed and agility around the slow zombies, a great technique. Billy retrieves his handy weapon and manages to waylay another undead, driving it back with blow after blow. Dad's only got a few rounds left. He better make them count. That's 1. And 2, don't forget there are zombies everywhere, so never stop shooting. The Hendersons are doing a fantastic job buying time for ZEMA, the Zombie Emergency Management Agency, an elite force of highly trained special operatives for exterminating reanimated corpses. ZEMA's ultimate goal is containment and eradication, quarantining an infested region by blocking all major highways in and out of an area. For this, ZEMA needs time. Let's see what else the Hendersons can do to help their country. Sister is using her ignorance to full advantage. Her stupidity manages to distract several zombies for our brave troops. Good job, Sister. Billy's attention deficit disorder draws almost half a dozen zombies away from government blockades. What a great American! Dad's knee wound and rampant overconfidence helps to keep the attention of an entire horde of the Walking Dead. His tortured and visceral screams draw more and more zombies to the feast. Dad has really demonstrated his value to his country. Now that ZEMA has the city secured, the armed forces are able to administer special cleansing devices. Of course, the United States will prevail against this threat, all thanks to the sacrifice of the Hendersons and, of course, all good Americans just like you.